Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. Today I'm here to show you all about our SPC photography software. So it's all about album designing. We've even got a 3D package for you. So the whole idea around today's event is to help you to create stunning packages for portrait and event albums. We have Album Express, Album Design, and Real Photo 3D. Clicker. Don't you love this? When it never works. All right. First is Album Express we're going to talk about, and this is what our package looks like here. You can design an album in minutes with this software. So basically what it is, a standalone software. There's no extra added. You don't need like an add-on, whereas Photoshop, if you were using Photoshop, you need an add-on. This is a standalone software. This is all you need. It has an intuitive interface for people who kind of aren't, really looking to, I guess, to learn something difficult. Like when you go into Photoshop, it takes 4 or 5 years to learn that. This, very simple, easy to learn. You will see when I show you the demo how quickly you can create a layout in an album. Okay, there's thousands of built-in features. You can choose from over 1,500 templates. These templates are designed by us, customized, and it doesn't matter what size you're using, they auto-resize. So say you wanted a 10 by 10 album, you still get 1,500 templates. It's not like you have 20 templates for a 10 by 10 and then 20 for a 20 by 20. It's all auto-resizable. Hundreds of different masks that you can use, frames, clip arts, backgrounds, and in addition to all that, we have our built-in text and effects editors, basically because with anything else, if you were using our plugin, you would have Photoshop to do that, but it's built in. So in addition to all of that, you can also link your photos directly with an external photo editor. So let's say that you were working in Lightroom or Photoshop to color correct your photos, get a style that you wanted. You can link all of your photos that are in Album Express directly to those editors, and it saves for you in Album Express. So there's no re-uploading, have to go back and delete and then upload again, so it's all right there for you. The last is you can save and export with ease. Again, you'll be amazed at how simple it is. It saves as an Album Express project, so you can continue to work on it. But when you're ready to export, you can export in JPEGs, PDFs, high or low res, and the PDFs can be password protected. If you were sending it to, say, a client and you wanted to send them a high res or whatever you wanted to do, you give them a password so they can't, go print it on their own and all that kind of stuff. TIFF, PNG, and PSD. You'll also see it's got really fast render speed. What it does is it takes all of your available memory and exports albums incredibly quickly. Obviously, it depends on your memory size and all that kind of stuff. But an album that would be 20 pages would take you maybe 5 minutes instead of an hour. So that's Album Express. Then we have Album Design, our nice little magenta purple package. So this, in my opinion, is a Photoshop user's dream. I've used Photoshop for like 6-7 years now, and I still don't even know half of what it can do. It's just that powerful. And if you're a photographer looking to design albums, this just cuts your time in half. It's amazing. You pick, again, some of our templates, and it's just right there for you instead of having to go through the complicated process of which many I'm sure you know. Again, thousands of built-in features. Has, again, over 1,500 templates. A little different than Album Express, so you're getting kind of a different mixture. It's not like you're getting the same templates. Hundreds of masks, frames, clip arts, backgrounds. Again, in the Photoshop plugin, Album Design, you're getting more because it's a higher value product. So you're getting more masks, you're getting more frames, you're getting like black and white color styles, color pass is in there too. So there's just more options. And you can also easily add all of your own effects that you already have in Photoshop. So you don't need to go back and recreate them. You can just use it right in Photoshop. Again, save and export. You save and export in PSD, JPEG, PDF, HTML, multimedia, TIFF, and PNG. So you have all of those options. And you can access all of your saved and exported files with our organized system. So when you save, you automatically save as a PSD, a JPEG, and HTML file. So it all saves for you. If you want to turn that option off, you can. If you don't want to save in all that and just a PSD, you can. But we organize all that for you.
What is PSD?
Photoshop. That's just the extension when you save a Photoshop. Yeah. So what product is best for me? We have Album Express, which is the simple solution for you. If it's more built for an amateur photographer who's getting started, they want something simple that they can use, and they just want to get an album created. It's definitely a more efficient way to go. Or it's for a photographer who's done with Photoshop, doesn't want to deal with it. They just want a simpler program to use. And here is a quick view of the interface that you can see. Very simple. We have Album Design. It's a plugin for Photoshop. So we say, you know, if you're a medium to expert level Photoshop user, it's a good option for you. If you like Photoshop, you don't want to get rid of it, you just want it to be simpler for you. And here's a little shot of that. So as you can see, you use all the Photoshop layers are here. You're in Photoshop, but the plugin's down here. So let's dive in. I'll show you a little demo of these guys. Does anyone have any questions about those two before we get into it? Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with Album Express, the simpler one to use, so you can kind of get an idea how our programs operate. You can choose to open a new project if you've already been working on it. But here we're going to start a new project. And already I have some stuff to show you. So you can choose from some of our preset options. As you can see, we have plenty. But you can also save your own preset. So say you wanted to customize a specific size, or the lab that you use has a really specific, you know, margins that they want you to use, you can save that preset and come back to it. So just for demo purposes, I'm going to make this 72 so everything runs a little quicker. And let's go event space demo. Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start out with showing you the tools here. First, we have the select tool, most common tool that you're going to use. Then we have a create a photo object. This tool is used for when you're creating your own templates from scratch, so you'd use this. We have our crop tool here, our rotate object. Then we have bring to front, bring forward, send backward, send to back, and then align. So all these options here. Already you can see that compared to other programs out there, that this toolbar is very simple, and it's amazing of the different things that you can do with it. Here I'm going to show you preferences. This is where you link to your external editor. So right now mine is linked to Photoshop, but you can also link it to any major editor, Lightroom, Aperture, whatever you choose to link it to. All right. So here, to the top left, right where your eyes go to, this is where you choose your template. And this drop-down menu right here shows you all the different types of templates that you can choose from. This DP here just means double page, so it's a spread. And then the number after it is how many photos per spread. So we actually have two folders for the one because we just added some new templates. So I'll just quickly show you that kind of stuff. And it shows you what the layout will look like. And down here is single page. So if you want to design in single spreads, you can do that as well. Or if you want to do a cover and you want to just use a single spread. So then over here, actually, we have the sheets that you use. So this is where your project is created. You can see everything right there. There's no guessing which page you're on. You can rearrange stuff. So you can add a new page, delete a page, send backward, bring forward. I'll show you a little bit more when we have a project created. The ruler here, right now it's set in pixels. All you have to do to change that is right-click on it, and you could change it to inches or centimeters, whatever you choose. So this is your workspace. You can either minimize the size or multiply. It's totally up to you. Now below here we've got our photos. As you can see, I already have photos uploaded here. Whoa. But here you can add photos. You can add a folder. So let me just show you how you would do this if you were going to go ahead and do it. You add a folder, it creates a new folder. Let's say event space images. OK. Now, in order to add a single photo, you click on this one here. But if you want to import a folder, which is what most people do, you import this. So it goes to your computer. And you just choose where your photos are going to be. So say your picture's here. So wherever your wedding stuff would be. And then it uploads right down here. You can also, if the photos come in, if you have a portrait photo and it comes in landscape, you can also rotate it as well. Next is the masks. Same thing. You can add your own masks if you want. So if you're in Photoshop and you want to create your own customized mask, just save it and import it here. And you can also see that we have a bunch of different options of masks. So here's your typical dissolves. And we even have some films, actually a lot. So as you can see, there's plenty of options. For me to go over every single effect with you, we'd be here past 12 o'clock. So I'm just going to show you a few when we design, but some frames as well. So we have our edges, some flip page stuff. And the same thing, add a new folder. And clip arts, also same thing. You can add your own clip arts. Just all you need to do is create a PNG, upload it right from your computer. I even made an added clip arts folder. So we have our swirls. A lot of people like to use. Even just some typical objects, a wedding ring, that type of stuff. Our backgrounds, plenty of different backgrounds that you can choose from, as you can see here. Or you also can just choose the color. Double click on that, it comes up with a color wheel that you can choose the color. Text. Here is our built-in text editor. So how it works is you would create a text object here, click on the text tool, click and drag. Now most people are going to want to double click in this text area and write your text right in there. That's not how we do it here. Down here you use the text area down here and you apply the text. So instead of creating more confusion in the work area, it kind of keeps it condensed down in the text area. Here are all the fonts. The fonts that are here are pulled from your computer. So there's no base fonts that you have on here. It's whatever you've got. So any font that you have, you can use. Just going to delete this. And also, as you can see, you could change the size or the dimension, bold, italic, underline, alignment, all this simple base type of thing that you would need in a text editor. Next, in the effects editor, we have a simple color correction tool. So this tool down here is not really meant to color correct your photos. It just won't come out as pristine as you want them. But if you have something little that you want to adjust, we have that. If you want to change the tint or the saturation of a photo, you can do it all right here. We also have other effects, so shadow. If you want to add a shadow, you just click on this box. You can change the angle, the distance, blur, and opacity of the shadow. And also, if you have an edge on a photo or you want to create an edge, you come over here and, again, pick the color, pick the point size that you would like, and change the opacity and blur. So that's basically the entire interface. As you can see, very simple. It only took me, what, like 7 minutes to go over it with you. So once you're done here today, you're going to be able to use this almost as well as I will. So let's go over just making a page. So we will go to, let's say, a 3 photo. And we'll just go right to the first one. So you double click. The important thing to know is that this is all double click oriented. It's not drag and drop, which I know frustrates a lot of Mac users. Including me when I started to use it, but it's very easy to adjust, and it's built to be compatible with PC and Mac. So it's just how it is. We've definitely, you know, I've gotten used to it, so it's not too difficult. So here, if I were to enter a photo, all I have to do is click on the box, and let's go to, say, this photo here. Double click, and it inserts. Okay, so what have I already done wrong? Anybody? No? All right. Well, I didn't choose the mask below it. So I'm going to undo. Now, if I want, in a template like this, and there are quite a few, in order to get both photos exactly the same and not have to adjust them, you click on both here and double click. And they both insert. So you don't have to worry about adjusting, that kind of stuff. So the only reason that you would have to adjust here is if you wanted to, you know, change the placement of the woman in the thing. Then you'd have to adjust too. But we try to make it as easy as possible. Now, if you notice below here in the Photos tab, there's a little green check. That green check lets you know that you've already used that photo. Big, big, big plus for a lot of photographers that have used this, because they just don't remember what they've already used. And the beauty of it is, let's say we want to remove these photos from here. You double click, it goes away. So something very simple that actually takes away a lot of stress. So we'll do this, and then get another couple here. Now here's where I'm going to show you the crop tool. In order to change where the photo placement is in a photo object, you go over here to this crop tool, and you'll see exactly what happens. You can resize the photo, okay? Or you click and drag. All you have to do is hold Shift, and it's there. And then you just click out of the crop tool. Now, you do have to go adjust this one too, which is kind of the annoying part, but you see kind of how it works. Now, let's go over here. I'll choose this one. Ta-da. Okay, so that page created. You look over here, you can see all of your images as well as the page layout right there. Now what it does here, there's this extra sheet here. You can either keep that there to remind you to go back and do your cover, or you can delete it. So I'm going to leave it there, but all I have to do is click and delete. Because what it did when we double clicked on a template is it left that opening sheet that every project opens with. So let's try another one here. Let's go to 2 photo this time. And I'll take you down just to show you how many we have. Quite a bit. You can see there's also a bunch of different options There's ones with backgrounds, there's ones with lots of color, there's ones with no color at all. White background, black background. Let's go to this one here. Okay, so the different thing about this is now that there's already a stroke applied to this template. The important thing to know is that these templates, you can always change. You can change them and make them your own, and go over here and save the template. So you do have 1,500 templates that we give you, but you can always add to your library. So if you come up with one layout that you just love and you want to save it, go here to My New Templates or whatever you want to call it, Lisa and Joe's Wedding, and add the template. So here we will add another photo. Let's do this one. Double click. Look at that, they look so happy. And then we'll go here and choose this one. Double click. Done. Say you didn't want to adjust your template at all. You've already got two finished. And that's me showing you how to do it. So imagine if you were sitting here in front of the computer doing it yourself. So now I'm going to show you about what I was talking about with the effects. So right here you can see that the edge is 20 points black. Say you want to change the color. Again, you have this color wheel that you could choose from. Whatever color you want. Let's do a darker green. And you see what I did there? So say you like this color and you want to use it again in the same project. Click, bring it right down here, saves. Okay, there you go. Now, we have another stroke here. Say that you want to change the color again. You can go right to your saved color swatch, but you don't want your edge to be so thick. So you can either type in a number, or you can use this, and it goes down in increments of 5. There you go. Now, let's say you want to add a shadow to this picture right here. All you do is click the shadow. Now, I would imagine that not most of you would choose a shadow like that, because it kind of is a little distracting. So, you can choose a different angle. If you want, choose the distance. Again, you can go use the arrows, or you can type in stuff. Same with the blur, and same with the opacity. So a little more subtle. And that's that for the most part. Just so you can see also how the color correction works. You know, if you can see it's not so exact, so if you were to really try to color correct a photo in here, it wouldn't work the best. But again, that's why you can link to an external editor. And if you want to make it sepia, that's all right. You could change that effect quick. All right, so let's do another. Let's go to this one, a little different. This one has the background as a picture, and it's already in black and white, so it sets that style for you. Go back to photos here. Let's choose like something like this. Just double click. Converts everything for you, you don't have to adjust it. And here's another box. Let's do this one, yeah? Super cute. So now I'm going to go back to the crop tool. And in addition to resizing the photo, you can also rotate the photo. So last time I clicked on this, this gives you intense rotation. But if you want to just do a little, either way, boop, boop, boop. Now I rotated it. You can see the edges are cut off. To adjust that, just however you want it. Okay. And there you go. You can also, I'll use this rotate tool so you can see how that works. You can also rotate the whole entire object, however you would want it. Boop, boop. Okay. Now here, this guy right here, this object. You see, this is where the color was changed for the photo object. So this is where you're going to use your color correct tool most. Let's say we want to make it red. Now, obviously, to get the exact color that you want, you can adjust it. Take the time to do that. Just for today, I'm going to show you quickly. And, you know, use these tools. You want it saturated. Want a little less brightness. There you go. Done. 3 pages. Let's go to another one.
I have a question.
Yes?
How would you change the image in the background to put it back to the other way? Because the picture was originally 180 degrees the opposite, where the girl was on the right and the guy was on the left. But when you brought it in, the girl's on the left and the guy's on the right.
When I went to crop here? Is that what you mean?
No, the actual the full background image. Down, yes. If you look at the original picture.
Oh, interesting.
So how would you put it back and say that's the way you want it?
I did not realize that. That's what these. Now I'm all confused. Thank you for noticing that. I didn't even realize. Okay. Let's do one with 4 in it. We also have, you know, collage stuff that you could choose from. Plenty of different options here. And you can see that there are some templates that may be a little out there. But again, you can choose a template that you like the base design of, and say you want to get rid of that kind of funky background. All you have to do is replace the background and save it as a new template. Let's do this. All right, so we got another one. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you were to not want to change anything, that took me like 5 seconds. So, just so you can kind of see how much time you're saving. Yes?
If you want to resize the box on the left, let's say you want to resize, can you duplicate those 3 others at the same time? Can you duplicate them on one shot?
Can I, what do you mean duplicate them?
Those boxes. Like you want to create.
Can I?
Where you hold the option key?
I just press copy paste.
Oh, okay.
Option key works as well.
But you can also resize, right? If you drag on the corner, you can resize.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You can also start from scratch. If you have a blank template, you can build your own from scratch, right?
Yep, I'm going to show that to you in a second. So let's say you want to, I think this, change these effects a little bit. Maybe make this edge not so large. See a little more of the picture. And just to see how you can change things around a little bit. Even maybe remove it. Okay. So these are nicely in line already because that's how the template came. But say that you accidentally move this and this one. Didn't realize it. Wasn't enough undos to go back. Select all of them. Go to this align tool. And just align, depending on where you want them aligned. Choose from one of the options. Do that. Okay, so it does it for you. You don't have to worry about counting down to the pixel or the centimeter. It does it right for you. Okay. Now, since you mentioned it, let's go ahead and create our own here.
If you want to delete one, just hit the S key. If you want to delete,
Yeah.
want to delete. Yes, go.
Are you sure you want to delete? Delete. So let's add a new page down here. Now also you can, just to show you more about this, you can redistribute this stuff. So if you want this to be the first thing you see, or however, there you go. The best thing about that is that you can actually see the page. So if one page really doesn't look good together, you can adjust it. So we'll create a page from scratch. This is where the photo object comes in. Okay, so let's say you want to create a vertical. And maybe we'll do another one here. Come on. But you want it a little smaller. Right? Maybe some overlapping. This is where the also the overlapping. This is where this stuff comes in handy. If you want this ahead. And let's say we want a picture in the entire background as well. Actually, no, because I want to show you backgrounds. Just do nice little square. And nice little square. Okay. So go back to photos. Choose maybe this one here. And another shot. So there we go with that. Now I'm going to go to backgrounds. Let's choose a gradient. Again, a bunch of different options here that you could choose from. Let's find, where's the one that I want? There we go. Applies it right there for you. And let's add a Clipart too. Maybe some rings. There you go. Rotate it. All right. What else do you think it needs? Maybe a nice little edge. I can tell you all are already like, oh, come on, we get it already. It's so simple. At least I hope. And let's do a mask. That's kind of cool. Maybe not, doesn't really work. Still doesn't really work. Just so you can kind of see how these work. Not the prettiest thing, I know, but cover her. All right, so, I mean, super simple. I want to show you how we export this stuff. Now, first you have to save it. So you save the project. And let's see, there we go. Just save it as that. Okay. Now, File, Export. Brings you to this page. Cool thing about the export page is that, again, you see those little green arrows. You can choose to export just 1, 2, 3, however many pages you want, or the whole project. So let's say you show a client you've exported all these pages into JPEG, and you show a client, she goes, well, these 3 pages I really don't like. A lot of our competitors, you have to re-export the whole project. Here you can just choose whatever you want. So I'm just going to select all of them. And again here, so split pages. Say that you like to design in spreads, but the place that you send to the printer, it prints in a split page. You can split the pages and it will do that for you. I'm going to show you that when we work on the cover in a second. You can export as the PDF here. You can choose the file format that you want here. Also, see this, pretty important, ICC color profile. Exports as sRGB, not CMYK. So whatever colors you're using in this particular project, those colors will be printed. PDF option, so here's where you can apply the password if you want your customer to have to use a password, and you could check for all of these different things. So for now, we're just gonna choose, make sure that when you export, you usually export to best, but just for speed, I'm gonna go to medium. Then you have to choose the file. So the way that Album Express and Album Design work, as you're gonna see right now, instead of, well, just like Adobe, it creates a folder. So you go into the Album Express folder, and we have this album builder here. It's just there to help you manage all of your projects. So you're not saving stuff on the desktop, and then say you're done with that project, you move it somewhere else, and all of your photos are unlinked, because that's happened to me plenty of times. We just want to save you time and the headache and give you an option of building all of your projects right here in the folder so you can organize stuff. So I'm even going to create a new folder, event space export. And then I'm just going to select this folder here. Because I'm sure many of you over time have had that linking error. It's the biggest pain in the butt. You'll see here we're a little bit of what I was talking about the fast speed here. So we just did 5 pages. Now granted, they're in 72 DPI, but we just did 5 pages in 23 seconds. So you can kind of see the time that it would take. Now this project's done, over with. All right, so you forgot your cover. Oh, I forgot my cover. All you have to do is, let's say, add a new page. Now here's the thing, I'm even going to show you. The cover is obviously just going to be one side. What you can do is you can either create a whole new project and just set the dimensions for whatever we said. I think it was 10 by 10. Or you can just do it in the same project and choose a double page layout, or you can create your own. I'm going to show you what happens if you have a double page layout and you choose a single page. Not good. So watch what happens. Stretches everything out. So single page layouts are really only if you're working in single pages. Now you could still use this, but just so you kind of get that idea. So I'm just going to create our own little cover here. Come on. Okay. Go back to these photos. What's a good cover photo? Maybe this one. All right, look at that. So cute. And let's say you want to add text on here. I haven't shown you that yet. So again, you create the text object. And let's say it was, like I said before, Lisa and Joe, November 28th. Apply. Okay, so the text is there. Now we can change the dimension. First, I'm going to change the color so you can actually see what I'm doing. And here's the white. Now let's choose a nice fancy let's do this one here. Nope. Let's do 24. Okay, so there you can bold it. Adjust this. And there you go. You have a pretty simple cover. It works. So, again, save. We're going to export. And this is where I'm just going to choose the one page. And I'm going to say split pages. Okay. Save right here. Uh-oh, the spinning wheel of death. How many of you are Mac users and PC users? Well, Mac first. Everybody else is PC? All right. Okay. So I'm going to show you now what happened with the split page. Album builder. Now I see it gave you a left and a right. Left you don't need. Delete it. And here's your right. You can change the name to cover. That's it. That's like a simple, nice little way to quickly, efficiently, and still nicely create an album in Album Express. Here, just to show you a little differently too, Album Express comes in all these different languages, if that were to be something that's important to you. And these folders here, backgrounds and stuff, you can also add your own stuff directly to these folders. Our program will do it for you. It'll place it where it needs to go, but you can also come in here and adjust that kind of stuff. So do we have any questions about Album Express?
At any point, if you want to go to Photoshop to fix, let's say, tweak a picture, can you add it and then come back to it? Will that take?
Yep. What would happen? Okay, you see this picture right here, the cover. And you really want some sort of a style that you have already done in Photoshop. So here's the important part, because I dealt with a client a few days ago who hadn't linked the photos to Photoshop when she uploaded them. So you have to make sure that the image that you're working in Photoshop is the same image in Album Express. Because she was changing her originals. First of all, you don't want to change your originals, as you guys, I'm sure, know. And she's like, yeah, it's not uploading in Album Express. It's because she wasn't using the same file. So as long as that's all, fine and dandy, you're using the same one, yeah, it'll automatically do it.
But I'm talking about right now. Let's say you want to take this picture right now and go to Photoshop and make it like soft. Make like apply like a portrait professional, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it from the program? Can you do it right from here? There's a button you can export.
I have to go into Photoshop.
But you can export from here.
No, you have to go to Photoshop and change it in Photoshop.
Import it again.
Nope. The only thing that you might have to do if it doesn't recognize it right away is re-enter the photo. But it saves the photo. As long as you're working on the same photo, as long as you're not saving one and it's in a different place.
You minimize Album Express, go to Photoshop, work on the same file, and then re-import it.
Well, I'll show you exactly how to do it. Let's do that. So we'll go to Photoshop, and what number is that? 038. Okay. So, Album Express, and you go. Your photos are right here. Oops. And then 038. open. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to do something really, really simple.
Just make it black and white. This way
Yeah.
basically,
Okay, save.
you save or you close? You have to save.
You have to save the JPEG.
Right now,
So-
you gotta save.
So I'm going to save this.
Come on, it's okay.
Now check this out.
Close. Okay.
Okay, so see it didn't pick up right away, but that's fine.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So I mean that's a huge. It saves you countless. Even if re-uploading the photo took you 10 seconds, how many times do you do that when you design? You know, you see some photos that you want to adjust, and you have to go back and work it out. Maybe even a few times to see how it looks in the layout. So simple.
Gotcha.
So simple.
Will the program only read JPEGs, or will it read any other format like Photoshop?
It won't only JPEGs. It won't read like if you were to import PSDs. It works primarily based on JPEG. And if you work in RAW, it would also work in RAW, but it slows down the program significantly just because they're heavier files. So, any more questions on Album Express? So now I'm going to jump over to Album Design and show you that one. All right. So Album Design. This is what it is without Photoshop. So a little more complex, has a little more things going on. Same basic principle. So we have here, you add your photos, add a folder. Actually, this is templates. I'm going to go to photo. Add your photos. Here's the demo folder. Show you all the different icons here. We've got, browse your folder, convert from RAW to JPEG, undo, insert resized photo, insert photo in selected area, insert photo as background, which I know is a big seller, resize, distort, and flip horizontal, flip vertical. So that's all on your Photos tab. Now templates, again, kind of the same convention here, but instead of DP, this is just rectangle, and then you have single. So it works the same way. And go to 2. Again, you could browse the folder, undo. Here, this is one of the most important keys in the whole thing. This is where you set your dimension. You can also set it in Photoshop, but Album Design is just giving you an easy way to do it. So I would suggest that you do it this way because, again, it comes with all these different presets. So again, I'm going to do, just for speed today, and you set your color profile. So whatever you use, you can choose. And you can save a preset. Okay, so create it. Okay, so that sets your dimension. And you can create a new template, create an object from the selection. That's how you create a photo object, which again, I'll show you when we go through this. Delete a photo from the template, rotate, flip, and this is actually cool in auto album. It's the last thing I'm going to show you, but definitely cool. Here, preferences. This is where you select your version of Photoshop. So very simple. You can see the different versions that you can use with it. Now we have effects. Again, the stuff on the top of here is primarily the same as every other tab. Just varies with stuff that you can actually do with it. So here, this is different from Album Express. we don't include this stuff in Album Express. This is just something for the plugin. So these are already black and white color styles included for you. Again, I had said before, color passes. So that's kind of cool instead of having to spend the 5 minutes to do that. Let's see what else. We have, this easy frame thing where you can use one photo and make it into a bunch. The flow. We also have the nice flow, soften effects, as you can see. And I mean, same thing, list goes on, flip page, all that kind of stuff. And we have masks, same kind of basic idea. Here's our dissolves again, that type of thing. Some styles. So we have our frame styles here, plenty of them to choose from. And we also have object styles. So you see here, we just use this A to show you what it is, but you can apply it to any object that you would use. Again, all of this stuff can be done in Photoshop. We're just trying to make it easier on you. Clipart. Again, you can add your own stuff. We have the swirls here too. Some objects. Plenty of stuff to choose from. Backgrounds, same thing. You choose a whole bunch of backgrounds. And the save panel. So this, you can see I already even created one so you can see kind of how it works. It, again, like I said before, it saves PSD, JPEG, and HTML files for you. And when it saves it, when you open the album design, it opens your Photoshop right here, Photoshop file right here, so you can see your project, just like Album Express. You want to be able to see what you're working on as you're working on it instead of having to reopen another page. And also, another cool thing that it does, it already knows, so we already have 001, it already knows 002 is the next file to go. So it saves them all in order. And if you want to save it as something different, you can save it as something different too. You can also save as the TIFF file that I was telling you, PNG, sorry, PDF, not PNG. This is a split page. This is like a proof here. And multimedia, burn a disk, send through FTP, just so you can kind of see what, you drag your folder into here, say finish, go to your server setup, enter all that information. So it's built right in. You don't have to use an external like CyberDuck or anything else. You could do it right here. Okay, and lab. You can send to a lab. As long as you have a user ID, email, that type of thing, you're all good to go.
You send through a lab through email or through the FTP? But when you go to the lab, is through the FTP or?
Well, for the lab, you have to have a lab that has an FTP, or if they would prefer you to send it through email. That's, their option. But just a nice little feature.
Can you go back to the templates for a minute? The templates there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have like a search. Like let's say I have 3 photos, and I wanna. There's no way to search. Like you gotta find the one you prefer.
Well, these are all 2 photos.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if you want 2 photos, you come here and you choose
Right.
2 photos.
2 photos. First I get it.
Yeah. So you kind of we organize it as best as possible, and we give you a whole different bunch of options because.
But when you save the template, when you save it, right, then you got to enter the. You save. Let's say you create a template, you just save it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put the code there so it remembers that's 2 photos or 3 photos.
Well, you can either create a folder that says, my new templates, or you can add it to existing folders. You don't have to re-enter. So let's say we wanted to make a new template. just make sure you're, and it's two photos, make sure you're in rectangle 02 photo and save it right into that folder.
You will remember, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So where's the folder creation tab? What is it?
Right here. You can either create a new folder or delete a folder, and here's where you add stuff.
Gotcha.
All right?
All right.
Okay, so anyone have a preference as to the number of photos we use for the first layout? Yes, no?
There's no three.
Three.
3 photos.
Okay. Just to show you our options, we have a bunch. Again, don't worry about changing our templates and saving them as your own. That's what they're there for. We want you to continually build your library so it makes it easier on you all the time. I mean, you could see that this is crazy. How many different options there are. Here you get the more conventional, modern, black and white backgrounds. So just to be simple. Actually, does anyone have a preference, or do you want me to just choose?
Do you have any holiday?
Holiday templates, you can purchase them in addition, but not built in. But we do have objects that are holiday oriented. So if you were to want to make your own, that's fine too. I'm just going to choose this one. Oh, 67. We'll do that one next. Okay, so because my screen is only 15 inches, you got to minimize this a little bit so you can see your project. Here you go. You can already see we're in Photoshop. You've got a photo layer created. And all you have to do is click on the object. Now, the best way to do it is to use this tool here, which resizes the photo directly proportional to this object. So I'll show you how that works. And it kind of does some cool stuff. Ta-da! So now you have to accept it, obviously, and there you go. Or what you could do is double click it. I'll show you what happens when you double click to enter. See? You have to resize it yourself. The program doesn't like when you do that, really, because it gets all confused and it says, why are you doing that? We give you something that already allows you to auto. But I mean, if that's your choice, that's fine. Now I'll show you how to delete it. Boom. Oh, I deleted this one too. Oops. I must have had both selected. But anyway, this way is the way to go, in my opinion. It does all the work for you, which really is the whole purpose behind these programs that we're showing you. It's got to save you time. And I mean, you can still work around here. You can still change the size, do whatever you want. Just
Yeah, they come in with the transform tool. I can see that.
Yep.
In the Photoshop with the transform tool, so you can do it. Yeah.
exactly. So say that you've accepted it and you want to, change where it's placed. You can't just click on it and move it because it'll do the whole thing. So go to this little tool here, and you can move it again. Okay? Because even when I started using, if you don't read the manual, and I know plenty, even though we have these beautiful manuals for you guys to read, we know that most people really don't. So it's there for you. Everything that you need, if you were to forget today, it's all there for you. Okay.
Can you minimize the bottom?
This?
No, can you make it like just one tab?
I could, but then it cuts off these here. I mean, do you guys have screens that are bigger for the most part? Or are you working on a small screen?
23, 25 inches.
Yeah, I mean, the higher resolution, the better it'll look. But I mean, I use this program and I have a smaller screen. I just minimize the project here because I want to be able to see this plugin. But I mean, you can absolutely.
You can put the bottom of one, and then you got two screens
Yes.
That's good.
Yep.
Cool.
So this is the one that I had here before. Again, just make sure that you accept it. Because if the program freezes on you and you're not sure why, that's why you haven't said OK.
You accept, you hit enter?
Hit enter or this check up here. Either way. I'll hit enter this time. Okay, so that's there for you. And you can see in the layers where everything is. So let's get down to just some effects. Let me show you color pass, because I know that's a popular one. So we'll choose this. And we'll do color pass. Now for this, just double click. Does its thing. Ta-da! So an effect that would take you at least a couple minutes, you have it done fairly quickly. And there's also, let's do flip page. Why not? Oh, see, didn't accept it. Good. Now, cool thing again, Photoshop layers. You decide you don't like it? It doesn't create over your original photo, it just adds an addition. Okay? So let's choose this guy here. And just a double click. Oh, see? It screwed me up. That's a linking problem, which means that that effect is not linked correctly on my computer. So you can already see that I must have moved it around. But in any case, when an error like that comes up, which is not often, I promise you, I'm glad it did, because that'll show you that all you have to do is go back to Frames flip page in those folders, make sure that it's right there. 99% of the time, it's either in a different folder because you accidentally moved it, or it's not linking correctly. But to save time, I will just, let's go choose a mask. How about this one? Cool. Mask. All right. And maybe frame style. Ta-da. So, you can see a bunch of different options. Not the prettiest looking page, because I just want to be able to show you everything. Some clip arts. More or less the same kind of clip arts that we had in the last one. But we have some cool stuff. We have a lot of swirls. These water drops are pretty cool. You know, if you wanted to. Why not, right? We got some cartoons. If you're doing like a little kid's birthday party album type of thing. Some baby stuff. Very cool. And the backgrounds, some baby backgrounds. That type of thing. Very, very cool. All right, so I'm going to show you this save thing here. So it's going to save in the sample project folder as number 2. And there it is, right there. Super cool. Now, I'm going to show you where it was saved on the computer. So you kind of get that as well. So you know what I said earlier today about how we organize, how we save stuff for you in folders? Here's your JPEG. Here's your PSD. Here's your web. Let me show you what the web looks like. Take a minute. But we want, again, make sure it's simple to use, easy for you to find where every project is. Oh, it may not work because I don't have internet connection.
Right.
Ah, whoops. Oh, it's still working. I mean, it should because it's locating my computer, but that might be the problem. Next, I'm going to show you. Here we go. Next, I'm going to show you the auto album thing, which is very cool. To do an auto album, so just like a web index-based thing, if you want to send your clients this as low-res files. Something cool that we have. So, next thing we're going to do is very, very cool. One of my favorite things to show. It's called Auto Album. Now, there are still plenty of things with Auto Album that you're going to see, not problems, just nothing's going to be placed exactly where you want it. You're going to have to go back and move stuff around. So you can choose if you want to insert sequentially or random. Go to your computer and pick out the folder. I already have this set up for you guys. Images, there you go. And the templates that you want to use. Now, if you were doing this, I only did a 3 template thing. If you were doing this, you could choose templates that you wanted from the folders that we already include as well. So, and where I want it to output. Okay. Now you could save. This is save as PSD, save as TIFF, save as JPEG. You can save them all at the same time. I'm just going to save them as PSD for right now. And auto rotate images. It's going to do it right for you. And it'll show you everything that it is doing while it is doing it. So you can see it would be the same thing that we would do manually, but it's doing it for you automatically. Very cool. Again, there is some planning going into it. You can't, if you choose an album or a folder with your photos that you don't want all of the pictures in there, you got to remove the ones you don't want first, or else it's going to use the ones there. So it takes a little longer, but this is also something you could run this. Say you kind of did your planning ahead of time. You have all the templates lined up. You have all your photos lined up. So instead of you having to sit there and do it for an hour, you run your computer for an hour. You go grab a cup of coffee or go to a photo shoot, and you come back, and you've got your project pretty much created. I mean, you could come back and, again, adjust things that need to be adjusted, but for the most part, it knows where stuff's supposed to go. But it's super cool, kind of a wow part of album design, for me at least. When I first saw this, I went crazy.
So you just have to go back and change the order?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you have your photos ordered exactly how you want them, and you say go sequentially, but if you want to go back and something's not cropped right where you want it, that's where you would go to adjust, because it doesn't really know where, so it's going to choose the best option. But like this is a perfect example of that, actually. I think I did that on purpose too. So this photo right here that you're looking at, I know you can't really see it, but behind the tab here, okay. Now, it's all done. So it took like a couple minutes. Go back. Whoop. It was this one, I believe. So it created the PSDs. It would have created other stuff if I wanted it to. But. So this one template that it did, I had 3 vertical photos, and one was more of a horizontal image as opposed to a vertical or a square. So it entered the portrait photo where it thought best, and you could see it chops off their bodies. So to fix that, Come back after your coffee break. You want to fix it? Again, a little screen here. Okay. So you click here, and photo tab, and use this. Oh, but it created the mask. So you choose the photo, and then you can adjust the mask as well. So again, little problems like this with auto album, but nothing that's not fixable. So you'll spend maybe 2 minutes fixing this.
So you chose you didn't select the templates like 2 or 3 pictures. You did it by yourself. You just selected it. You brought in the pictures and selected how many pages, and then the program did it by itself. Random.
Right. I did a little planning ahead for this, so it wouldn't take me time to pick things out. But yeah, I mean, if you kind of know what kind of templates you want, and you just want it to do the work for you, or you're like really behind on a deadline and you just want something out, you just do that, and it works really well. But I think that
I have a question.
yes.
The template that you're using right now, even though you said you enjoyed the plan ahead, is this template available inside?
Oh yeah, they're in the ones that I used are in our program. So I had chosen those. Bum, 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 bum.
I don't get it. You chose 20 templates beforehand, or you chose one, and then the program picked the others?
No, I just chose.
One with 3 pictures.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so I quickly adjusted that, and it's normal. So that's pretty cool. Now, what I want to show you lastly, I'm going to go over, that's basically Album Design and Album Express in a nutshell. Enough to get you started to play around with it. So do you have any questions on either of these, technically or otherwise?
One small question. Pantone matching. Is
Mm-hmm.
there any possibility of breaking that in from Photoshop? In other words, can I bring a swatch in?
Yeah, in Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah,
In
that's.
other words, I can import it into here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the beauty of working with the Photoshop, because everything's right there at your disposal. So it's not like Album Express where your options are a little limited, but I mean, there's a lot of options there for you. So yes. What was your question back there?
I just wanted to know, like, even though you said that you did the templates ahead of time, but I was looking down, when you actually went to, it's kind of like a batch, like regular
Yep.
Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
What did you press to get the batch like that? I remember it was a drop-down window, but I was writing something at the time.
Oh, this right here for templates?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Is that what you mean?
No, and it was like it dropped down, and you were saying that, and it did everything all together, like a batch.
Oh, when I actually went to Auto Album,
Yeah.
you have to press the Auto Album feature and then you choose. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions?
So what's the difference between Express and the design?
Yes, Album Express is the standalone. A lot simpler, more for the amateur type of photographer or someone who just doesn't want to deal with Photoshop anymore. It's all there right for you. You don't need to go anywhere else to get what you need. Album Design, more complex. We suggest that you are pretty familiar with Photoshop because that's mainly, it uses the Photoshop engine to do everything that it does. So if you don't have it, you can't use it. And there are just more options because the price varies a little bit and it just gives you more options to do things. So that's the main difference.
What is the price?
Album Express is $299. Album Design is $329. All right, so last thing I want to talk to you about is come on, Keynote. is real photo. Well, here we go. So, real photo is very, 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 very cool. There are a couple of things that you need to know about it. It has the latest 3D technology out there. It has both Anaglyph and what we call Chroma Depth technology. Now, Anaglyph technology is the stuff that you see with the red and blue lines. So if you were to go to a 3D movie, that's Anaglyph. That's that type of technology. With these glasses here, like these ones here. So you have that. We have that type of technology where you can literally just create one of your own photos into 3D. So you just enter the photo, generates it, it's good to go. But a lot of people are like, well, it makes my head hurt when I look at it. So we have this other technology, it's called Chroma Depth. How it works is it's based on color schemes. So the warmer colors, like red, orange, they're going to pop out at you. The cooler colors are going to set back. So it uses all this color technology that we have. And the coolest thing about it is when you make these, you get a template, right? So you get a template with all of these fun, actually, let me pass these around. You guys all got 3D glasses, right? Okay, so I'm sorry I only have 2, but I'm also going to create a template up here on the screen after I'm done explaining. The cool thing about this technology is we give you these, what we call Chroma Depth templates that you're going to look at. And you enter your photos in these templates, and it gives you the 3D effect. So when you're using these, your photo isn't becoming 3D, unless you're really lucky and you have the right colors. The template that you use is 3D. And in addition to that, make sure when you look at these albums, when they come around, or when you look on the screen, we're going to do one together, you don't need glasses for them. I mean, you can look at it and it's a perfectly nice print, great without them. Or you put on the glasses and it gives you that kind of effect. So again, you can use it with your, these are called Chroma Depth HD glasses, so they're the clear kind, not the red and blue. Oh, I didn't get to that yet. I just want to show you, I'm going to use Album Express to show you that this 3D effect, it's not the paper that you're using, it's the template that you have. So it's our stuff. So I already have these templates here. You can do a baby template, which is one book is a baby template, and the other is just more based on weddings. So let me choose a really good one with lots of red. Choose this rose here. Again, you just double click, pops up right here. These files are a little heavier, but there you go. And all right, so if you have your glasses and you don't have a book, take a look at the screen. Boom. So super, super awesome and cool. And gives you something that nobody's really using right now. So if you had a client that was like, a little funky, looking for something a little different, pop this in, and you get a nice 3D looking template. So it's very cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Even though this is funky and it's different, if your client does not have these glasses, it just kind of looks flat, right?
It's just like a flat image, like if you were to do any other template. So it looks good either way, and you'll see. I apologize that we only have 2, but you'll see. But yeah, if they don't have it, it still looks good.
What about those new TVs that's 3D? Like, you know how they have the you're able to like upload pretty much anything on it. So if you had, per se, this album done in 3D, could it?
Yeah, you could put it
in the television.
You could put it on your TV, but if the TV aren't Chroma Depth glasses, you're not going to be able to see it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So you need that specific type of of glasses, 3D glasses for it.
Yeah.
But you can see it's on a TV. You can see it right now. You could create a slideshow and make it with 3D templates and put it wherever. I mean, you could print this stuff on copy paper and it would still look 3D. Wouldn't look super nice because it's copy paper, but it would still look cool. So yeah, again, it's the template that you're getting from us in this Real Photo 3D package. It's not your photos that are doing this Chroma Depth 3D thing. It's the package. So I mean, when you buy this, and if you have Album Express, Album Design, or Photoshop, and you buy this package, you get the objects that you can use and move around. So it doesn't need to be this exact template. You could take these objects, move them around, change it differently, and save it. But it's the stuff that we give you that's 3D, so you can't create this. It's what we give you. We don't want to give away our secret recipe, you know?
Canon was showing it last year, too.
That's good. We're right up there with Canon.
You're up there. I mean, they were showing it with some of their heavy hitting stuff, too.
Yeah.
So how much
4K
is
and
3D
all that.
templates?
Real Photo 3D is 144.
How many templates?
You get 40. Yeah, you get 40 3D templates, and then the little generator that gives you your own 3D photos as well. So, pretty good deal.
But you can use with either with Album Express or Album Design.
Album Express, Album Design, or Photoshop. So the Album Design files that we give you are really Photoshop files. But the Album Express ones are actually Album Express project photo files.
But
So.
the 3D are different themes, or the ones you make right now, there's just...
Yeah, we have, these are mostly,
like,
what we give you is mostly wedding based,
okay.
just because that's where our market is at the current time. But like, these don't need to be wedding based. I mean, look at this movie theater. I mean, and these flowers don't have to be a wedding. It could be whatever. And then you also get these little baby templates. So you get cool stuff that you could change around. Again, if you have these programs, you can move the objects around. And here in Album Express, let's see, where is it? Clipart's here. We give you all the 3D objects right here. So you can create your own template. And we give you all the other ones, 3D letters, 3D objects. So you're not just getting the template that you can't change, you're getting all the objects with it. So you can create your own. And these templates are just stuff that we've put together with the objects.
So the 3D templates, you bring them into the template tab, to the template folder.
Yeah, you would upload them just like you would, so you create a new folder. Actually, it creates it for you. So it uploads it all for you. Right in.
That's cool.
So the Album Design Photoshop ones, they're PSD files, so it won't just, you got to save them in the correct folder. Like in Album Design, where I showed you how you would go here to Templates and enter them in here. I actually haven't even done that for Album Design yet. Just, drag the folder in, you're good to go. So.
How would your client obtain the glasses?
You can either get them from B&H. You can buy them yourself.
It comes in the package.
Oh yeah. I mean, you get 2 Chroma Depth in the package, and then the 2 red and blue ones in the package that comes with it. But if you're giving it to a client, you're going to need more. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you however you want to purchase them. So, any other question?
Can you upload all of these albums to things like Flickr?
Yeah. It's just like being in Photoshop or whatever else you would use, even if you're using, what's it called? The Apple one. Yeah, if you're iPhoto, that's what it is. If you're using any of those to create stuff, it's exactly the same. as long as you have the file there. And you export all these. So if you're going to export them in JPEGs or you're going to export them as a PDF project or whatever you were, as long as Shutterfly or whatever, Photo Bucket, anything accepts them that way, yeah, totally. And you also, when you save files with Album Design, you already get the web version that we give you. So you already get that index page with the Flash, like I showed you in Firefox. So, but yeah, if you wanted to sell your photos or things individually on the site, then yeah, absolutely, you could do that. Anyone else? I finished a little early, sorry about that.
Leigh, good job.
Oh, thank you.
For more information, please visit us online, give us a call, or stop by our New York City Superstore. You can also connect with us on the web.